Welcome back to Hall of Fame College Football's Sooner Magic podcast. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. And if you love college football, especially Sooner football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame College Football's Sooner Magic podcast. Like to welcome into the show the legend, Mike Wilkerson. What's up, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, Big Jason? Horns down, brother.
All the time. All the time. Horns down. What's up, everybody? What's up? Let's see. Boomer Sooner for life. Hey, Chester Carter. What's up, man? Sooner Lemon, you guys are in here? Good. Hey, call it out whenever you get here. Let us know you're here. And make sure to wipe those feet, as Legend Mike said in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're glad to have everybody in here tonight. Hey, what's up, Sooner in Texas? Hankster, Lemon. Hey, here we go. Nathan Campbell. Love it. Stephen G. There we go. G. Love it. Hey, guys, big time stuff coming. Hey, what do you think, Legend? Big weekend that we just had. Obviously, the Future Freaks weekend. You had a bunch of official visits or unofficial. I don't know if it was official, unofficial, what it was. But a lot of good recruits in town today over the weekend. And then tomorrow, spring season gets underway. Love it.
The pads pop tomorrow, brother.
I love it. Hey, man, glad you guys like that. Go ahead.
I am excited about the guys we got that came for Future Freaks, but one I was paying strictly closer to that I did a video on a couple of days, Mr. Ty Haywood.
Yeah, man. 5-star Denton Ryan, offensive left tackle, stud.
Yes.
I mean,
stud.
Do you think there was a silent verbal there, or do you think you feel like this is going to take a little bit?
I'm going to say, yeah, I got a gut feeling.
Got a gut feeling there?
I got a gut feeling on that one.
Look, I'm not one to make a lot of predictions about recruits.
Me either.
You never know. But I like the direction they're headed in. A lot of people have been kind of busting on Big Bill for who he gets, who he doesn't get, blah, blah, blah. But I would say that it feels like they're in on a couple of these guys. I don't know, the Fasusi thing, you've got a crystal ball of him going to Texas, but
I'm not buying that one.
I'm not sure I buy it either. But when Haywood gets the crystal ball coming from a Texas insider, plus the Oklahoma one, you got to feel pretty good about that. Feel pretty good about that. The main thing is, and then the other thing was, you got to look at the other thing that you got to look at is that you've got the kid that's shooting up the rankings right now, as well. You got another offensive tackle out of Cypress, Texas.
Yes.
He's the same size as Fasusi and Haywood. He's a big boy, 6'5", 275, 280. We're talking big time offensive line talent. And as we've talked about over and over and over again, you got to hit the trenches first. So whatever mix of guys they end up with here, I'm that guy that says in BB we trust.
Me too. I said it on the Jay and Coots podcast a while ago. My God.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, man. And predicting the whims of kids is
like baptizing cats.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Boomer Sooner boys, 1 month and 10 days, can't get here soon enough. Yeah, then also one of the ones I think was it Hawkins, the younger Hawkins.
Yes, the younger Hawkins kid. That's another one.
Seems like he's one of those. I mean, you got to kind of expect it. His dad played at Oklahoma. His brother is now an Oklahoma backup quarterback. And
then you got the Bowen brothers, Eli and Peyton.
Oh yeah. I like Eli and him being in this class. We're gonna talk a little bit about that here in a few minutes too. I kind of feel like there's some guys that, as freshmen, you're probably gonna see them make some kind of a contribution. I'm more inclined to say that the guys that are coming in as either redshirt freshmen or sophomores that have been in the system, that we're going to expect some more out of some of those guys. What you get out of the freshman guys, I mean, is a bonus. I think the main thing is, you got to figure that you've added some depth there for the D line,
right?
Particularly when you start talking about Stoney, Jaden Jackson, Nigel Smith, Wyatt Gilmore, of course, Danny Okoye. 5 blue chippers, coming in. From what I've seen of Wyatt Gilmore, that dude's a stud too, man. Big.
He is. God,
a big corn-fed Minnesota kid. He loves it. Seems to like to hit people.
Just point him to a person with the ball, and he's gonna rip their head off. And it's like I was telling you in the green room a while ago, the day of Brent Venable's presser. They interviewed the players, and I listened to Danny, especially Danny Collier's presser. Yeah. When you listen to this young man talk, you would swear up and down that he's been in the league for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you seem to get a lot of that from this group of guys. Really, both the last 2 classes, they just seem real grown up. Like very mature. Athletically mature too, but it also seems like they're coming in with this is where you're starting to see that culture thing take over, right?
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing. You're starting to see culture really take hold, Brent Venable's way of doing things. Look, for the folks in the SEC that are not believing in Oklahoma, I'm just going to tell you that, keep doubting them, and you're doing it at your own peril.
Well, go back and listen to my rant video after the video from y'all's rant. Oklahoma follows a pattern, and people don't believe me. And I've been watching OU since 1971. Yes, Chavis.
Yes. Miguel Chavis, hey, love that guy. He continues to, hey man, and his affectionate, I think it's electric, and he's, it's magnetic. His personality, the way that as much as he cares about the game, cares about these players. I think the same could be said for Todd Bates. Those guys love this guy. There's a reason why, he was recruiter of the year in 2020. That they're getting that done, but it feels like, and they were talking about it a ton on Jay's show a little bit earlier. We were saying, look, when you've got them all over this staff, man, there's elite recruiters all over this staff.
Yeah.
Jay Valai and,
B Hall. B Hall. Brandon Hall.
Yeah. Jay Valai, Brandon Hall. Emmett Jones is just, he's stuffing the cupboards with receivers, and there's not enough footballs to go around even, and he's still getting them.
Yeah. Give Emmett Jones a raise right now.
Give that dude a raise. Yeah. Jay kept saying it. Whatever they're paying him, it ain't enough.
Hey, Lemon, as far as the Selman brothers with this class we just got, it might take a year, but I've told Jason through telephone conversations, they are reminding me of the Selmans.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that really, truth be told, you start looking at this, and guys, we're talking about the best. To me, I've said this in that video that I did a few weeks back, where there's a lot you can look into recruiting going back to when they very first started the whole deal. When they started talking about guys like, where they had Rivals and ESPN and all those guys started, this has been a while, about 20 years. But even going back before that, they might get one guy that you consider a 5-star, or, the real high-end dudes on defense. It was tough to do it. But now you're talking about just loading up. If you think about the last few years, just on defense, I'm looking at the 2023 class right now. You've got PJ Adebore, Peyton, of course. Those are both 5-star guys, top 100 guys in Samuel Omosigo. Also, Makari Vickers is another top 100 guy. Jacoby
Seatbelt.
Johnson was just outside of the top 100. Lewis Carter just outside of the top 100. You know, we're talking about guys that these are defensive players, and that was actually not even the composite. According to the composite, there are more that are. That got, let's see, the composite. Let's see. Yeah. But then guys like Josiah Wagner, another 4-star. I mean, these are all 4-star guys.
Yeah.
You know, Petaway, Jacquez Petaway. We can talk a little bit about him in a few minutes, you know, but Almost Eagle, top 100. Makari Vickers, top 100. Peyton Bowen, top 100. PJ, Jackson Arnold. You know, PJ and Jackson Arnold were top 15 guys, both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure were.
You know, you know, so it's crazy to me that that we're talking about them the way we are, but even guys like we're talking about tackles and stuff. You've got a guy in Logan Howland that's going to be a redshirt freshman this year, offensive tackle, 4-star guy. Kendall Dobie came in as the #1 defensive back out of JUCO after 1 year, you know, and we already see great things about that guy. You know, Khalib Hicks, I still believe that he's going to be a big deal there as well. Josiah Wagner, again, like I said, and Jacoby Johnson could be huge this season. And I really feel like if you think back to this and something that Sooner Cowboys have brought up on here on Jay's show, that he was talking about who's going to be that freshman that's really going to stick out. Well, there could be any number of them. We've been talking about them, right? But my thing is get ready to start seeing some of these redshirt freshmen / sophomores like Peyton and like PJ to really come through and be that guy this season.
You got it.
Second year guys like, you know, Deshaun McCullough. Guys like that. Hey, look, there's a lot of these dudes that you can expect for them to kind of step up, make a big. I would think that Samuel Omosigo, you're going to start seeing some of him.
Phil Picciotti.
Phil Picciotti another one of those guys. We hadn't talked a lot about Phil Picciotti lately, but that dude was
has
to IMG.
I've seen pictures of Phil, and good God.
Watched him play, man. He brings the muscle too. I mean, he attacks the football. He hits hard. He's big. He looks the part, right? He looks the part.
Yeah, and this linebacker we got in this cycle, it reeks of football name. How can he not be good? Boganowski.
Yeah.
I agree, Stephen G.
Yeah, look, it is both sides of the ball. And that's what you keep on hearing. It's funny to me. I kind of engaged in it, but I didn't really talk about it a whole lot yesterday on Twitter. There's a guy, some clown from Texas, talking about how they're not recruiting offensive guys, that they're starting to notice that what they're doing on defense at Oklahoma, but now that Lincoln's gone, they can't get the offensive guys. What? You realize that Taylor Tatum was one of the top guys on Lincoln Riley's list. He's at OU. Devon Mitchell, one of the top guys on Lincoln Riley's list, and right there next to Lincoln Riley at Los Alamitos this year, and he's at Oklahoma. Don't give me this shit that they're not getting Heisman-type people on the offensive side of the football, because they continue to do so. When you start looking at Jackson Arnold, look, a lot of people are questioning whether he's ready, blah, 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 which I think is silly.
It's stupid.
But whatever kind of season he has this year, you can tell me that he can't freaking win the Heisman next year, the year after that? I just don't buy it. I don't
buy it either. Well, you know, it's funny, Jason, when we was in the green room and we was talking about some of the freshmen, I can name you 2 players on the offensive line that we will probably see in the rotation, and more than likely they might contribute.
Who's that?
That's the Haitian law firm Eddie Pierre Louis and Daniel Akinkunmi.
It's possible with Akinkunmi. The problem with EPL is that he's not in the spring season. I mean, you're missing some time in the weight room. I feel like if you're going to see much from him, it might be later in the season. But you never know. The dude's a monster already, 300 pounds. You know, big, moves his feet well. You could see that. I'm thinking you're probably going to see some stuff out of some of these guys like Heath Ozeda, Josh Bates. I expect these guys, this is Sexton's year to become the guy. I think whether it's at right tackle or left tackle, I think that he's going to be your guy. I like if he could stay healthy, man. Sexton's his numbers are, his ceiling is way up there. So, I do feel like that's one of those things. But again, this is one of the where you have to start believing in what you're seeing from Big Bill Bedenbaugh. We were talking about all the commas in the contracts of Sooners in the NFL. Aside from Trent Richardson, all those dudes are Big Bill's guys that are left.
You mean Trent Williams, Silverback?
Trent Richardson. I don't know why I said that dude's name. Why? Yeah. Trent Williams, dude. Trent Williams. That's just another guy. I mean, he's a top 3 all-time dude. 3-star, by the way.
3-star.
Yeah, guys, we can't. And it wasn't the other guy, the other left tackle at Cincinnati. He was a 3-star also.
Orlando Brown.
Yeah. He wasn't a 4 or 5-star guy.
Yeah, that's Zeus.
Yeah. I do not want to touch the O-line. Yeah. Well, they can do whatever they want, man. They can do whatever they want. I think that Brooks could get playing time. Eugene Brooks could come in and play right away. He was either you had EPL or Brooks in 2 different recruiting sites had them as the number 1 interior offensive lineman.
Hey Jason, can you go back to one comment? I thought to
What's
Steve
up there,
G.
Sharpshooter?
Hey, Sharp.
Or Stephen G. This one. Hey, this is great. This is great. Super excited
awesome.
about this. Super excited. I don't know what the hell took him so long, but I'm super excited that he's coming back as the Cheetah. Look, man, he's gets another opportunity to kind of prove himself. I think that he can do that. He's been a great cover guy in his time. He can slide down and play that linebacker. That's the perfect kind of situation for him. I think he's going to be real good. I think if you've got him playing Cheetah or Dolby playing Cheetah, might be a better situation than Deshaun.
Yeah,
I feel like Deshaun, when we saw them in the goal line stand against Texas, he was in the backfield on every play. On every play. So, that tells me what we've been looking for the past couple of years is a guy that's going to get a lot of sacks. PJ is going to be that guy, I think, but I also think that Deshaun McCullough could be that guy as well. Right?
Yeah,
Let him be that dude.
Steve also made a comment about in BV we trust or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way, Steve G. I'm the same way, brother. I'm just giving my 2 cents, but there again, my 2 cents won't buy you a cup of coffee anymore. So yes, I'm also in BV we trust and don't want to question his judgment.
Lord, yeah, but just in case, how's Michael Hawkins look? I think that Michael Hawkins could end up being that guy. Casey Thompson probably has to be considered if he's healthy. If he's healthy, they're probably going to, because of experience, they're probably going to make him like your emergency backup guy that comes in the event that like Jackson gets hurt. I feel like if Jackson gets hurt and he's hurt for more than a week, I think they probably move to a guy like Hawkins. I just think that he could turn into that guy.
And Michael Hawkins is the one you don't want to have because he could take your.
Yeah, Hawkins is on campus, Robert.
Yeah,
but I believe that I'm going to tell you that Casey'd be that guy that in case of emergency break glass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get him in. It's not going to freak him out to go in the middle of a game, because he's been there. He's been his 7th year in college football. So
I hate to say this, but it would have been a nice cushion, if you will, when DG went down in the Texas game and we didn't have a backup. Somebody like Casey at that time would have been perfect for that opportunity.
He had an opportunity to start though that year. I mean, he was at Nebraska. He was a starter.
He was in
he's
Texas.
Yeah, look, and Casey, if he was staying healthy, he's had some highlight moments. I mean, he's not my favorite out there. But I would tell you that he could throw the football pretty well. He's got a nice arm. He's and again, I'm backing off of my intense disagreement with bringing him in. I'll back off of that. And hey man, he's a Sooner. He's in the Sooner family, and now he's a Sooner. We're gonna love him all the way, right?
That's
but
right.
I think this is exactly what I've been saying. I think a middle of the game kind of deal. They're gonna bring in Casey. Anything past a week or so, they're probably gonna play Michael Hawkins. And because here's the thing with Michael Hawkins is he brings to the table something that even really Jackson can run. He's not running like Michael Hawkins runs. Right? He's not running like Michael Hawkins runs, and Michael can throw it very well. Again, that's a situation where you kind of look, well, maybe this could be it, right? This could be right. But to me, I don't think that they care about they're starting to stack up quarterbacks. Burning red shirts isn't something they're really all that concerned about. And that included with Jackson. They didn't care about that because they've got not just Michael Hawkins, they got Brandon Zerberg too, who's also got some wheels on him. If you've looked at any of his film, he's got some wheels too. He's got a nice ball. They all throw a nice ball, which is what I love about it. Yeah. Look, I'm not one of those dudes that I think if Alabama has a problem and sharpshooters, I've said this to you, I don't think that cat could throw. I do not think that Jalen Milroe can throw the way that you have to be able to throw in that offense that they're bringing with them. I could be wrong. Maybe he gets a lot better, and maybe they got the right guy in there to help Jalen Milroe progress. Right. Right. But I'm going to tell you now, this is not an issue with any of the guys that you've got coming up for this in the quarterback ranks. And that includes with General Booty. I don't know. I mean, General Booty, he can fling it. Yeah. The guy's got a nice arm too. I love me some General Booty. Love me some General Booty.
Booty time.
5 years versus look, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He did. He could play.
What in Casey Thompson?
Hawkins is kind of like another Kyler. That's quite similar. I think, except for I think he's a little bigger.
Wasn't Casey Thompson the quarterback of Texas when we had that miraculous comeback with Caleb Week? That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. He had a hell of a game. He had a hell of a game. That was a hell of a game, See, this is there's a difference between having an arm and being a good passer, Jimmy. That's exactly right. And that's the way I kind of look at this, is that there's a big difference in that. Accuracy, I always go back to, and I know that some people think differently than I do, but, I go back to when you had Jalen Hurts. Jalen has a big arm. He's still not super accurate. There's a reason why you noticed when Lincoln was doing the right things with him, he kept him out of trouble. He didn't throw a bunch of 10 to 15, 20-yard routes. He threw 30 or below 10 and let those guys, where he was going to be able to hit that guy quick, let them do their thing. CD got a lot of yak yards that season.
He did.
Right.
And Hollywood
a lot of over the top stuff too, but it was, that was kind of the way that they were, but accuracy is important. Accuracy is super important. If you can throw that deep ball, and you got a fast receiver, and they've got plenty of those that they can just go run up underneath it. That's all good, right? But then if you don't have a guy that can hit that intermediate 10 to 20 yard range, and the window in college football is here, the window in the NFL is here. Right? You don't have that much room, so there's a difference. And I think that these guys, you're seeing a lot of guys that seem to be pretty accurate guys. And I think Casey fits that bill too. He's not one of those guys that's just kind of a half-assed thrower. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know about that, but that's, maybe he is a little bit. A lot of people are buying into Joe Milton after seeing him throw it 60 yards. What does Shawty always say? He'll knock the glass out of your hand in the stands.
Yeah, knock the glass out of your hand in the stands.
Yeah, and then you got Sperry coming in right behind him. That dude can spin. That dude can spin it. Yep. So, and that's where I feel like Jackson is. Jackson can spin it. I don't know that there's a lot of people in the country that have the kind of arm talent. When I say arm talent, I'm not talking about strength. I'm talking about throwing dudes open, arm strength, and accuracy. Arm talent is a different deal. It means that you can do it all, right? And the year that he came out, there was one other guy that I think has that kind of arm talent, and it's Dante Moore, I think. Yeah. But we hadn't seen all of him yet. We'll see if he ends up winning it from Dylan or not. I don't think that he probably does, but I think they want to give him another year.
You want to see the prototypical accuracy like you're talking about. Go back and look at Jason White and Sam Bradford.
Correct.
I'll tell y'all.
And Landry.
And Landry Jones.
Yep.
I mean,
look, Landry Jones threw for 4,000 plus yards 3 out of 4 years that he played.
They make fun of Landry, but I tell you what, he was.
There was other things wrong with that football team aside from Landry Jones. I'm gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
You know,
most definitely. Most definitely.
I like that guy. I mean, I love me some Landry Jones. He's, from the same place that I grew up in. So, we're close to the family and stuff like that. He was a hell of a player. And there was times that, you wish that he would have been a little more killer instinct, stuff like that. But they shouldn't have been in some of those. They should have been way blowing out some of those other teams. This is when you kind of started to see that they weren't as good defensively. This is right around the time that BV left.
Yep.
Right.
And I tell you what, me being a defensive guy, I'll tell you straight up, I love offense. Don't get me wrong, because you got to score. But I'm a defensive guy, have been since the Selmans. And someone like me who has seen the best of the best that OU has ever fielded, this has got me excited with this defense.
There will be no Landry Jones shooting of killing of Landry Jones on this podcast there sooner in Texas. There will be none of that. There will be no dragging of Landry Jones, please. Thank you.
No. Hey, I remember Kenny Stills. Now that was
love Kenny Stills, bro.
God, I love me some Kenny Stills and Ryan Broyles.
Dude, Broyles was that guy. Sterling Shepard, bro. Love me some Sterling Shepard.
Oh yeah, Sterling.
I want to go back to this Stephen G comment right here. Having a tight end room is going to be huge for JFA.
Yes, it is.
Yes, I believe so. I think that the differences that you're going to see in this offense from what you saw with Levy, and we're not going to kill Levy either in here, but what I will say is that I don't see a ton of. If you see the jet sweep, I bet you there's a vertical element to it as well, and they use it. You know what I mean? But I do think that you're going to see a heavier dose of tight ends, seeing them in the game. I would think that with some of it's weird. I think that you're probably going to see a guy like Ivan Carry-On because he's got enough speed and size. I feel like he puts a little bit of weight on. Ivan probably becomes a tight end as well.
Yes, sir.
And then you start thinking about those guys as like Gronk and freaking Aaron Hernandez, before Aaron was a real killer. You start thinking about that kind of offensive weapons, right? I could see that because Devon Mitchell might be that guy right now. He might be that guy right now. The good news is he doesn't really have to be that guy. They've got a guy coming from Baylor that played for Seth at North Texas. He had 3 touchdowns last year. It seems like the guy coming from what was it, that Louisiana small school, whatever, the quarterback kid.
Oh, yeah.
He seems like he's going to be a stud too.
Yeah,
I'll find him right here. But I just feel like you're in a situation where that tight end room it's starting to fill out a little bit, Stephen G. I think you're right about that. So yeah.
I have a
Yeah,
request.
Sharp is who I'm talking about. Love that guy. And I think that you start looking at some of these guys and the portal ads, yeah, they haven't been as crazy about adding guys from the portal, but Jake Roberts is another. That's a big ad right there. And chances are you might get his little brother because of it.
Did you catch that press conference with the wide receiver we got from Purdue?
Hey, I love this guy. Love this guy, bro. Hey, talk about it. Talk about that guy, Deion Burks. This dude.
He sat there. You want to hear a kid that's not from Oklahoma talk about OU DNA? He mentioned Hollywood Brown, CD Lamb. He's got a smile on his face. He's a breath of spring air to be around. But this guy is going to be. You could just tell from his press conference that, dude, we're in for a treat if they play him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I seen him at Purdue.
Ian from Australia. What's up, my man?
Well, what's up, Ian?
Is the test cricket match, he says. Watching from the cricket match. That's cool. Yeah, Burks is going to be, the dude. I mean, look, this is a guy that came in, and if you start looking, he had, 700 plus yards. He ended up with 40 something receptions last year, but he's a breakaway guy. I think he's kind of similar to what you saw from Andrell before he went out last year.
Yeah.
Like that guy a lot. But I think that one of the bigger questions that hey, for as much as I give Sooner Cowboys shit, he was throwing out some questions earlier
on Jay's show. Yeah, he was
throwing out some
good on point.
Which one of these guys is going to be the number one? Who are we going to see be your number one target? Is it Nick Anderson? Is it Andrell Anthony? Is it I got to tell you, the more I saw towards the end of the year, the way that he became a dog, I think that Jaden Gibson is in that conversation too.
Yeah, Jay Gibb needs to be in that combo. And I tell you what, Jaquez Petaway gave us some flashes.
Petaway is liable to be that guy also. This is a dude that came in big. He didn't get a lot of looks, but I feel like if he continued, and he was one of those guys that they say he's one of those dudes that loves to be in the gym, loves to be, working out.
Yeah,
he's a speed guy that he was one of the top 200 runners in the state of Texas, period.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're talking about a guy that can break away speed on it as well. I think you're probably going to see, here's the thing. You've got a lot of guys that, you want to see them get some playing time. Otherwise, they're probably not going to be around much longer because guys like Petaway probably, some of these dudes, I don't know that there's enough footballs to get them in the field. You know what I mean? Andrell Anthony, I think that if he's not healthy right away, you could kind of see them working away from him, right? Farouk, Jalil Farouk and
Jalil Farouk.
Look, there's a lot of guys out there, man.
Everybody, after that Arizona game, they dogged Jalil. But you know what? If you go back and look at these receivers, they're going to have a bad game. That it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Mm-hmm. And Jalil's, unfortunately, was in the Alamo Bowl. But I tell you what,
he was still really good for most of the year. I know we kind of, everybody bashes on him over the Alamo Bowl, but I didn't really see him fumbling the football much before that. Not that I can think of.
But you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this little speedster we're getting out of Georgia, Zion Reagans, I got a spot for him.
Hey, the guy might be the best athlete on the field. He might be the best athlete in the room.
Get G Freaky's ass out of that damn backfield catching punts and kickoffs and put Zion in there.
Yeah. I love G Freaky, but I'm tired of G Freaky fumbling punts. I don't want to see him doing that or running the jet sweep. I don't want to see it.
Every time I've seen that, I would say, you're killing me, Smalls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you're right,
hey,
Zion.
Hey man, Brennan Thompson can outrun Jackson Arnold's arm, and that's not easy to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we forgot about Brennan Thompson.
That's a 10-1. That's a 10-1 100 guy.
Yes.
He has Olympic speed. So you got to have him in the rotation. You've got to have him in. I think even if you're using him as a decoy, he needs to be in the football game a lot because of the fact that there's just no way that you can't coach speed. You cannot coach speed like that.
You can't.
You know, Petaway might be the best athlete out. Yeah, he might be the best athlete. But if you look at this Zion Reagan's guy, the dude is go watch some of his film, man. He's a little dude. He's a little guy. Deshaun, what was that dude from Philadelphia? Deshaun.
I know who you're talking about.
Fast dude. Kind of reminds you of him, but probably a little bit better athlete. This guy returns punts. He played everything. He was unstoppable. Unstoppable in high school over there. If he was 3 inches taller, he'd be a 5-star without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he reminds me of a little bit of old Hollywood Brown. You remember how small he was?
Mm-hmm.
But just turned on right when the ball hit Hollywood's hands and turned on the Jets. Liam Evans.
Hey, you may be right. You may be right. Look, there's a lot of these dudes that it's so easy to forget about them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Reggie Powers, they're saying that he's popping people around like crazy, right? There's a lot of these kind of guys that are out there that are liable to make big noise. Now we're talking about guys on that defensive line because that's the biggest place of need that we've had over the last few years, and obviously since long before Lincoln even started being the head coach. That's been the issue, has been those guys. So the impact, I think you can feel that there quickly. But I also would tell you, you start looking at some of these dudes. I mean, Eli Bowen might be that guy too. You know, we know his brother is. If he's healthy, every time he was in the game, good things were happening for Oklahoma.
Blocked punts, interception. I mean,
he just seems to make plays. He just seems to be all over the field making plays. He's smart. He sees what's coming before it gets there. He'll knock your ass out too.
Got a nose for football.
Yeah, man. I just think he's that dude. And then and Petaway's fast, right? He says Blevins to Rhodes to Peacock type of magic.
I got a video on that.
Hey, Big Kerwin, what's up, my man?
Good to see you. What's up, Kerwin?
Good to see you.
Yeah, I got that guy, that one of your chatters that said the Peacock to Rhodes and all that. I got a video on that. 1976.
Hey, yeah, if you guys are not already members of and subscribers to the Sooner Legends podcast, make sure you get over there and check that out. He's got a good mix of stuff that's going on now and goes back a lot into the past. And I really think that what you were talking about of just the way it goes in cycles at Oklahoma, where you see, that people are going to forget about who they are and what they are. And they kind of seem to do this all the time. I hadn't realized until I was helping you with your intro thing that Bud Wilkinson and the King were tied when they hit 3 and everything, record and national titles.
Yeah.
Crazy. Right. Love that show. He's been putting out some really cool stuff, man. We appreciate it. Love it, man. I just enjoying his show. So make sure you guys get over there. He was hoping to hit that 200 mark tonight. So if you guys are not already subscribers to the channel, don't forget to do that. It's in the description up at the top, Sooner Legends Podcast. You'll see it up there. Just click on that. Make sure you go hit the subscribe button there as well.
I'm at I hit 177 today, so it's all good. I mean,
we got 55 people in here, man. We got 55 people in here. I don't know how many of them are or aren't, but if you're fans, get over there and take a look at it, man. Great stuff.
Now I tell you what I want to see, and there was mention of it in Jay's podcast. I want to see X-Rob take out Namore.
Yeah, that was me. I said that.
Yeah, you did.
When they started about X-Rob getting in some garbage time or something like that, maybe running over somebody, couldn't happen at a better time. We got some garbage time against Mizzou and little X, because you know they're going to beat the crap out of Mizzou. You know,
can I say something to Sooner in Texas? He said Greg Pruitt and Lucius Selman was. Oh, thank you, Jimmy. Well, yeah, he's always subbed. I mean, he's been with me. But I'm going to comment to Sooner in Texas. My just to get off point, the player that was my first hero at OU was Leon Crosswhite, former fullback, and him and Grant Burgett were that started my Sooner fandom, and I've got a video of that too. But I got to meet Leon Crosswhite a few weeks ago, well, several months ago, and I tell you what, the guy is 73 years old. He still looks like he could put on pads and go out and knock the hell out of somebody.
Norman, everybody says hi to you.
Hello, Norman.
Get his big ass down. Oh. All right. Everybody.
Sorry, I got off topic there, Jason.
That was more for I don't see Chicken in here, but he'll probably watch it later. So anyway. Yeah. On Apple Podcasts, I don't know if you're not on the audio channels just yet, are you?
No, I haven't made it that bit.
We'll help you get there as well. We'll see him get there as well pretty soon as well. We're bringing him up as quick as we can, but there's a lot to learn, and I don't even put mine out there as much as I need to.
I'm just on YouTube.
Yeah, let's see. He says, I want to see X throw a dude. Yeah, man.
I tell you what. Oh yeah, Jamel. I tell you what. There's Sooner Lemon.
Lemon's always here. He's our guy, man.
He's faithful. Hello, Adela.
What's up, Adela? I don't know what's wrong with. No, he's just not here right now. But usually he's the one always asking for Norm. He's always asking for Norman. So he, yeah.
But I tell you, from what I seen from X-Rob when I went to the state finals with Dell City. yeah.
Dude. He's a baller, man. He's big. He's big. He's fast. He loves contact, but that poor kid that he chucked like that with his left hand just stopped and
yeah.
That's embarrassing, man. Poor dude. Probably never gonna play again. But chicken become nuggets. I don't know, man. Chicken's our boy.
Oh, boy.
I think he's been kind of busy lately with something, but and now he's gonna be Smitty built. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. No doubt about it. Yeah, this dude's a baller already, but I think that you're gonna probably see. Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest things out there too. He's a stud, man. There's just no two ways around it. The guy's a stud. But yeah, hey man, we love you too, Adela. Glad to see you in here. Glad to see you in here. Yeah. Okay. So what else are we going to talk about a little bit? What do you guys want to talk about? What do you see coming for this upcoming season? I know we're hearing a lot of stuff out of a lot of haters talking about what they're not going to be. But I believe that OU has an opportunity to win 10 games. I don't think that. The truth is, I know that it's a tough schedule. It's certainly a lot harder than the one that you're going to see Texas playing. They got the training wheel schedule,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I think that none of the teams that Oklahoma, they can win every game. They can beat every team that they've got on the schedule.
I agree with that,
Jason. As talent as everybody there. Alabama was probably one of the ones that you were a little more worried about, even though it was a home game. But I do think that this is a situation where if you're going to get Bama and get them at home, this is a great time. Great time to do it. Switching coaches. Lost a lot of guys, you know.
And I tell you what gives me a better feeling about LSU now.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be there too, Lemon. What gives me my feeling about LSU now, Jaden Daniels is gone.
Yeah.
And that was their spark.
Not only that, Malik Neighbors, and they lost Malik Neighbors as well, and their other receiver, Davis, I think is both stud, possible first round type talent, you know, and they're all right there. They're gone as well. Look, I think that as far as throwing is concerned, Nussmeier might be a little better throwing the ball. Now he's not going to bring you that running element with it as well. The one thing you got to be careful about with LSU is that they don't lack talent. You just don't know who they are yet. You know what I mean? I think you're still probably going to end up with a lot of those guys. And we've heard some of these LSU guys that have been on the show, they'll come on and come into the comment section a lot. They were talking a lot about how somebody will sign with LSU and they'll go down the rankings, kind of like what we've been talking about a little bit with us. I see that, you know, the one thing that you got to, and, you know, yes, LSU struggled on defense last year, but they got some of those, they're better on the secondary. I know they will be. And then they got pretty much an entirely new staff on that side of the ball that were really, if you ask me, that was the reason Missouri was as good as they were last year. Was because of the defensive staff. I understand that Luther Burden's a hell of a player. Theo Weiss did his thing. Cooks, whatever. They had a nice offense, but they didn't win because of offense. They were winning because of the defense that they had. So,
and their defense
going to crash back to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. I believe LSU's probably going to be a little. I think a lot higher of Brian Kelly than the coach does for sure, and and a lot of people around college football. I think a lot higher of Brian Kelly than a lot of people do. But you know, and don't forget that you know you hear a lot of that stuff about that place being haunted, and it's liable to be a night game, and it's just a different place. So there's one of those expectations. You know, you got to see, even if they're not that good. They'll probably be good that day, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough place to win.
Death Valley is a hard place to play, but it wouldn't surprise me if OU walked out of there a 3 to 7 point victor. Would not surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah, look, hey, I mean, I know you've been predicting it a lot lately.
Now notice I said it would not surprise me. Now, I haven't said, I did not put a guarantee, and I didn't say we was going to win. I said it would not surprise me. I'm watching my words.
Okay, so you live 30 minutes from which one? LSU Tiger Stadium? Is that where you live close to, Kyle? Nice. We're going to be there for that one for sure. The LSU game. Chicken will be there. I'm gonna be there. I know sooner. Yeah, Legend Mike's gonna be there. I know a few of us will be there for sure. So yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, we're gonna have to have a meetup then. Everybody get out there for some tailgate. Get out there for some tailgate and have some fun.
Another off-topic thing. When I was a truck driver, I used to pick up.
Hey man, I love swamp people, so I'm gonna try to get out there and enjoy it. And I've been trying to you know what? The LSU fans haven't been assholes on here like some of them have. You know, on my videos at least. I haven't had any LSU fans that have been talking a bunch of crap. So we'll see, man. Some wings before the game, some crawfish, hey man, there's liable to be some really good stuff out there, right? Out there, it's like 2 to 3 blocks of partying. I'll tell you, when I went, the only game that I went to road wise last year was me and Chicken went to Cincinnati. That was fun. That was fun. That was the oldest stadium in the country, Nippert Stadium. They had just a cool vibe around the whole place. Good food. You know, the people were real chill. You know, I only had some students that were part of like their little, I don't know, whatever their roughneck crew was or whatever. They started yelling and talking shit to me on the way out, but I just continued on, you know.
There
But
ain't, you know, that year that
shout
we had Shouty. You know, that year that we had the Sooner Magic game with A&M where Torrance Marshall intercepted that pass, and we
yeah.
beat the year we won. I was at that game, and let me tell you something. You know what I learned about Kyle Field and Texas A&M? It's a cult.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the places I don't care. I've been to Kyle Field twice, so I'm good on that.
And don't step on their grass. Oh, good God.
Yeah.
Them cadets, they'll bayonet you.
They're wacky. They're wacky folks, man. You don't want to be there after dark is where you don't want to.
No,
Make sure if it's a day game, you can go. If not, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Otherwise, you don't want to be in College Station after dark for sure. LSU fans aren't bad. It's the bandwagoners that watch football only when LSU's having a winning season.
I'll agree with
Hey,
that.
man, hey, listen, guys, that's kind of like that everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think every time I've ever been to a college football game anywhere, there's going to be certain number of fans that are going to be what they are. But the truth of it is, most of them are really cool. You know, most of them are really cool.
You know, I've been to the Cotton Bowl 2 or 3 times, 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
I never.
Yeah, how many fights do you see at the Cotton Bowl? Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever.
And we're out in the after the
right
game
next to them.
and right, hell, after the game, hell, let me go out on the midway and buy you a beer. Let's go hang out.
Half, man. Hey, I've been there twice. I've been to what? Yeah, twice I've been to the Red River. One of them was Landry's senior year. Now, for all you Landry haters, what about that game? That was over at halftime. That one was over at halftime.
Is that the game that DeMarco just run crazy on them?
Blew them out. Yeah, they lit them up in every way. In every way. wasn't even a game. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Loved it. But even then, I mean, well, and I was actually at that one with I was living in Vegas at the time, and my boss at the job I was working at was a big Texas fan, and he was like, "Let's go." And I was like, "All right, let's go." And so I didn't really have a whole lot to say to him by halftime. I was like, "Shit, I don't really know what to." I mean, I could bust your chops, but I mean, why? You know what I mean? It was
Jason during Jay's broadcast. Who was that linebacker they showed? That's when Coop said that we're getting cell block D players. What was that kid's name? His last name's Archie or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Did you see the guns on him?
Yeah, dude. Hey, love it, man. I love it. That's what I was saying about Jacquez Petaway last year. Was like I saw him after he won the 200 at some track meet, and he was coming out of that freaking tank top from that track meet. Man, he was a stud.
Hey, Shawty, I don't ever put all my chickens on the spring game. I just go there to have fun and see what our players are going. Because you don't get to tackle the quarterback. You don't. I mean, it's just a
good time, man. And it's some football because there hadn't been football in a few months. That's all there is to it.
You know what type of OU spring game I miss? It's when the alumni had to play the varsity back in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy. You talking about
couldn't hear the radio because of the crowd being so loud. Dang.
Uh-huh. There was one year Daddy and I went. I don't know if you've heard this. If you've ever heard this name before, he's a former Oklahoma player that played for Nolans. His name was Derlin Moore. He was from my first time era of the early 70s. But dude, he was knocking the shit out of people.
Yeah. Let's see what he says. Hey, Sooner Lemon, thank you for the super chat. Love the content, Jason. Keep up the good work. Boomer Sooner. Everyone like and sub the video, Boomer Sooner. Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate it. Norman, get down.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Appreciate that.
Also, Shoddy, I tell you what I like about the spring game is fellowshipping.
Yeah, just a little tailgating, a little hanging out, you know, get a look at some of these guys. And I think more, it's really what you want to look at. It's the under guys, the underclassmen, the new guys.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get an opportunity to see everybody get some playing time in different sets and stuff.
But
so
it's
that's
just
let me get away from there.
It's just enough football to piss us off until August or September.
Yeah. You know what? And I think that may be coming, Shardy.
Yeah.
I think that may be coming. You start seeing, they've been talking a little bit about that the last few years, that they may start scheduling some of these FCS teams or something like that, you know, rather than putting them on the schedule, because I think no telling what's about to happen with all this realignment stuff. And I don't really want to get into all that because there's just too many unknowns. But if you start looking at a situation where you can play some of these guys as you know, put that as your spring game, and you get more people into it, you could still pay for a little bit, right? That would be kind of cool. Love to see OSU versus LSU class.
Yeah, that would be
great, man. That'd be cool, man. Anything. He said they're all being arrested for public intoxication.
He didn't do nothing.
I think we got a Sooner in here that really doesn't like LSU. I can see. Love it. That's good stuff. Keep going. Yeah, I hear you there, and I hear what you're saying, Kyle. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but to be honest with you, like I said, I haven't heard a bunch of that coming from LSU. I just haven't.
Me either.
I don't know. And I hear that those Georgia fans get a little wild there too, Shoddy. They be coming up barking in your face and shit like that, man. I'll start fights. I'll start fights with the Sooner right now. You heard about Oregon was complaining about that after they got drug in that first game of the year. What, last year, 2 years ago? Now, so that they were bitching about that.
I tell you something that our SEC brethren's going to have to get used to when they come to Norman. That's our Roughnecks with the shotguns.
Yeah.
If you're not used to it, it'll scare the shit out of you.
It will. The old school shot. Hey, I hope that the Palace becomes that place again. You know.
Yeah.
Where
I would love to.
They win 85% of the time they've won their home games. I'm feeling like this is going to be. You're probably going to see it take a hit, you know, over the first few years or whatever. But this is a tough place to play too. But it needs to stay hard and not be so crazy.
And I'm not saying rowdy as fist fight and there, but just fans getting rowdy with their hair on fire. Do you remember? And I think it's 2008 when we just obliterated Texas Tech at Norman. It was like 52 to something. And Texas Tech had that one dude that had the funky haircut.
Yeah.
But that year we beat them like 52
whipping their ass.
I want to see that type of crowd.
Yeah. Well, and you said you were there at the last time that Nebraska was #1 and Oklahoma beat them in the Palace, right? You were the last time that happened. Yeah.
2000.
2000. I wasn't there for that game, so
I was at that one, and it was freaking, oh my God. I would like to, or that type, or I'll even go back to 1985 when we played Nebraska. I mean, we was.
Yep, you're right, Stevie G. That was what I was. That's what I was alluding to. Some of the student section needs to get their shit together too.
Hey, I'm in my late 50s, but you ought to hear him. I don't have a voice when I leave the Palace after a home game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It takes me about 3 to 4 days before I can talk again.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, and that's a lot of guys need to do. I mean, I think we need to see some better fandom out of some of the folks that, and that includes the students have been kind of, leaving a lot early and stuff like that, or if it's hot, they go underneath, or they were getting hyped.
I'm one of them crazy fans. One side of my face is crimson, the other side is white. Oh, I get wild, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this is the OU. I will definitely be at this one too. You cannot miss the first SEC game.
No.
I will be there for that, no doubt. And then that's it's gonna be pumped, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But I think that my biggest thing is I want to go to all these other venues. I want to go to all these other venues. I don't know how many I'll make the first year. But I feel like I should be able to get to most of them.
Now I did get to go to
definitely going to Mid Zoo because we got some receipts to cash in when we get there.
Yep.
And then I want to go to the Grove, and for certainly we're going to LSU. So,
And I've told this to Shoddy and Coach I. Back in my youthful years, me and Daddy did make a trip. Thankful to one of the salesmen of the places he worked for, but we made a trip to the Hedges in Athens, Georgia, and I got to watch Herschel Walker.
Oof. Golly.
Dude.
You talk about a hell of a football player.
God.
Golly.
But
watching that dude's freaking his old film is insanity.
But the thing that I remember most about the Hedges there at Athens, and me and I guess because we wasn't in the SEC then, and we never played Georgia up at that point, but we had our OU hats on and OU. But I tell you what, we got treated damn good by their fans at that stadium. Got that Southern hospitality, glad. And they asked us why did we come, and he said, "Well, my son come to see Herschel Walker." And I tell you what, I'll never forget that. Never. And of course, I was a big Vince Dooley fan, Coach Dooley.
I can't wait for our first trip to the Hedges for sure.
Oh, me either.
That was gonna be a fun. We'll be able to hang out with Shoddy and Coach I and
JA and CA and E-Rob and
I can't wait. I can't wait for all that. That's going to be fun. Tebow alienated the football team with the rest of the student body since BV took over. It's been bridging the gap. Look, he's alienated a lot of it, I think, in LA too. Some of them that keeps on coming back up about USC. You keep hearing a lot of stuff about how he's not really allowing the media to talk to the kids. And you've heard a lot of that stuff in the past. Of course, you remember what he did to the windows and all that stuff over them taking a picture of the practice or whatever.
What practice?
Good grief, man. They're acting like I understand that you want to make sure that nobody's spying on you or whatever, but I would tell you that, hey, we will be filming. We will. Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Sooner Cowboys? We've been talking a lot about the stuff you were bringing up on Jay's show.
What's up, Sooner Cowboys?
But look, I think that he alienated a lot of people there too. There's a reason why all the glass is frosted over down there in that dorm area. That's just off, right there close to where the practice fields are at and all that stuff, where they, kind of covered up that glass or whatever, so you can't see through there. You're starting to see some of that kind of stuff finally go away. And I agree. I think that's part of why fans or students want to go, is to be a part of it. And if you're alienating your student section from the best part of your university, you don't see Patty Gasso doing that shit.
No.
And
I tell you another thing that pissed me off about Lincoln is he didn't want the old players there.
Yep.
Rufus Alexander said that on Teddy and Gabe's show a year or two ago.
Right. Well, and you know that BV has embraced having all those guys back. Stephen Coleman was talking about that with us, that, you know, he went back and that was the first time he'd been back in a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Stephen Coleman.
Yeah.
You know, so that's big. You know, those guys are, you know, actually being invited back and being around. You've seen Boz around the program again.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these guys are back around. You've seen Baker and Kyler a number of times have been back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all the old stars have shown back up. You know,
yeah. And
I was watching the Red Dirt show when they had what's his name from the tight end? Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? But he was talking about that him and Trent, because he's with the Niners, that him and Trent were going to come to a game, and it screwed up.
Willie?
Yeah.
Weight room Willie.
Who's that?
Brandon Willis.
Oh yeah. Braden Willis.
Braden Willis.
Love him too. He's gonna be a hell of a player. Yeah. But I feel like he's gonna be one of those things that they were getting ready to come to one of the games, and I guess they had the plane at he went to the wrong airport and stuff, and then Trent decided not to. But like now all of a sudden they can start going and doing this stuff again. And because you do have a coach that wants to embrace the past and have those guys back around. I mean, you need to have those guys around, you know, the guys that have been there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. And Shawty's even saying you got to embrace them. Yep.
Yeah,
hey, look,
because they're the ones.
I mean, you live in Athens. How embraced are you around there? I mean, you know, now you played with Kirby, right? Kirby was the quarterback when you were there.
Kirby was the linebacker and Quincy Carter was the quarterback. That's when Shawty played.
I thought Kirby was the quarterback.
No, Kirby was a linebacker. Quincy Carter was the quarterback.
Quincy Carter was a quarterback around that time too.
Yeah, Kirby was a linebacker. Because during that time period when Shawty played, I was a Georgia fan because our Sooners sucked. Because we had John Blake.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, that's good stuff, man. And I think that they got to do that more of that, you know. And you know, that was something that I saw on they were talking about that Billy does a good job with that too. Mm-hmm. That they haven't really done that as much in the past, but that Billy was doing more of that.
And like
Bobo
I was going
to Kirby was a safety. Okay.
Oh yeah, Kirby was. I'm sorry, Shawty.
I thought that he was a quarterback for some reason.
I knew Kirby was on the defense. I knew that. I thought he was a linebacker. My bad, Shawty.
Oops.
I'm getting old. Sir.
Mike Bobo was the quarterback, huh? Yeah. Y'all don't love him as much as the offensive coordinator, huh?
But but like I said, without these older players, I mean, you don't have no legacy of the program, and you got to embrace them older players.
Yeah,
you know, because they and thank God, I thank God every day.
They've been there and done that. They've been there and won shit. You know, a lot of those guys, you know.
I mean, when I get my studio set up, I need to go to my storage and go through all of my stuff. I have a picture that is worth priceless. It was taken in 1973, and I was with 15 original Bud Wilkinson players that was on the 55 and 56 national championship team.
Wow. No doubt. Norman. I'm going to kill this dog.
Because if you figure that was, go ahead, Jason.
No, go ahead. Finish.
But if you figure in 73, 74-ish, that was 20 years removed, 19 from her last one. Them cats were still alive. They were still alive. So that was pretty doggone special.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
It's good for the culture. Shows you take care of your family. That's right. That's
exactly,
right, man. And that's one of the things that I think that there's schools that are just that. And I think that as much as you weren't seeing as much of that, I mean, we still all supported Oklahoma with Lincoln there. I mean, you know, we all thought a lot of him. You know what I mean? And you're going to back up your guy for what he's doing. But the truth is you can see that things are just different now. It's just different. And I believe that you're starting to see more and more of Brent Venables coming out in what this program and what these kids are, then the way they're recruiting and the stuff you hear out of them. You were talking about how grown up and, you know, maturity levels and stuff like that we're hearing out of guys that are brand new, you know, coming into their first
haven't even played it down yet, and they're already talking like they've been in.
It's about more than money. Culture's about more than money, and this is a time of college football that we're all going through changes and watching it change tremendously. But places like Georgia, places like Oklahoma, places like LSU, places like Alabama, it's about more than it is about money. It's about winning and culture and what it is to be an Oklahoma Sooner or a Georgia Bulldog.
Exactly.
You know, it's
and I'll tell you another thing I love about Brent Venables' culture here at Oklahoma is him bringing in the soul mission. How these boys go or these players go out, do things for the community, and you know, that soul mission, that's probably what's selling a lot of them kids to come to the program and play ball.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kill him. He's too big to kill, sucker. And it would take a lot more than what I got right here, right now. Plus, I like him too much.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait for our Georgia brothers to come up here at Norman. You know, Shoddy and Coach I and CA, JA and E-Rob and those cats.
Yeah.
You know,
it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun going to all these places and then welcoming these guys along. We're gonna have, you know, Stat Guy's gonna be here for the South Carolina. That's a game that I'll be at one of the home games that I'll be at for sure because of Stat Guy being there. So he's already got it all planned to be here. He's already got his plane ticket and all that. So, you know, we gotta show Stat Guy around and keep him safe.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, really, I mean, I think this is a lot of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just think that, but this is the thing, is that the culture matters. It matters a lot. And I think I would venture to tell you that it matters even more now that you have to have something aside from the money's going to be the same. At some point, they're going to get it all straightened out and they're going to kind of slot them where they should be, depending on where they rank in recruiting and what they've become. And there's gonna be some kind of contracts going on. I feel like you're gonna see some of that. Now, whenever that happens is fine, but it's not gonna be just about money. The culture is more important now than any other time. Because if it's just about money, then you're probably not gonna keep kids like that around that can win championships.
And I agree with Kyle, and Kyle said it the best right there. Texas A&M proved that NIL recruits don't win natties. Yes, sir.
That's correct. That's what I'm saying. This is why it's more important today that you establish the type of culture that is on display at all times. And culture is not just something that, it's not just a word. I think it gets thrown around a lot. Like, you know, the word gets thrown around a lot, like it happens everywhere, and it doesn't happen everywhere.
Exactly.
You know, and that's why we've talked a lot about with BV. You can't stray away from who you are and what you want that culture to be just for, you know, for talent purposes. And we have not seen him do that. And for as worried as a lot of people were about, are we going to get these guys? Are we going to get the type of guys that we got to get? He's gotten them. He's been getting them. And so you're starting to see some of that stuff that it just matters, right?
Now Jason,
I brought those two guys back. Absolutely, Hamster.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly, Hank. Now, here's one thing I'm going to touch on that wasn't touched on a lot last season, and
love it.
Brent Venables is going to be able to coach with a clearer head this year because he don't have to worry about Julie going through her cancer anymore because she's cancer free.
Super glad you brought that up, man. But shout out to Julie Venables and Coach Venables and all that. Look, so good, so, you know, grateful to God that she's cancer free. Hope that she remains that way.
Yes.
Good for her. You know, coach kept talking about she's just tough as all get out. You got to be, I would imagine, to be a Venables. But excited to hear that. That was definitely probably something that was weighing on him quite a bit last year. But hey, man, and that's something that shows you a lot about that culture too. How many people have been super excited about that and talked about that and actively prayed for her and hoped that, you know, that she was going to come through this. And he talked about that. Last week a lot. So,
and one thing I noticed about BV in that press conference compared to when we first learned of Julie's cancer diagnosis is he seems a little bit more loose. He's, you know, and so I had
when you're a coach at the level that he is, and whether it's as a DC or as the head coach now, Mama at home her job is just as important to raising the family and doing. I mean, coaches' wives are. You can't really say. I mean, my granddad was one of the best coaches in the state of New Mexico for a long time. He's a Hall of Fame track coach and football coach out of New Mexico. My grandma ran the house. Period.
My mama ran the house.
That's right. And so you have to. I mean, coaches wise, they put up with a lot of stuff, but they are strong people, and they generally are pretty close to God. If it you know. When it all comes down to it, but you see, it's all permeating.
I know me from experience. If knowing how I was when my mom went through cancer, I wouldn't have been able to do what Brent did last year because I know what it did to me emotionally, physically, spiritually. I mean, I was literally broken down, crazy. Not crazy, but I mean, you know what I mean, Jason.
It's tough.
So for Brent. So for Brent to still go out last year and coach at a high level, knowing that what Mama was going through at home, that says a lot about the culture.
Says a lot about his faith. Says a lot about their faith.
And their faith, their family, and you know, for Brent, one thing Brent, Coach V preaches is family, God and family.
That's right. That's right. I think again, congratulations. Shout out to her. Shout out to the Venable family. Excited that everything's okay and that she's cancer free right now. And all we can do is continue to pray that it stays that way. And, you know, way to be a fighter, you know, it's exciting and good for everybody. Good for everybody who have prayed for them and sent well wishes, whatever, however you may be. Yes, AD's little brother quarterback.
Yeah, Nelson Peterson Jr.
There's another culture thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not seeing. He's not going to go to Texas. I can tell you that.
No,
he's not going to Texas. So that's a good thing. So hopefully he's. Haven't seen a whole lot of him. I definitely want to go check out his film. But guys, we've been on here for a good hour and 20 minutes. Got to get out of here. I got some work I got to get done. But man, we appreciate everybody coming in. Sooner Legend, I appreciate you showing up and just in a pop-up kind of way to kind of talk about some stuff and get excited for the spring season. Excited for all of this.
I was out of my wheelhouse. I hope I did okay talking about the recruitment and the players we got coming in because you know I'm more historical. So I hope I did okay on the new stuff.
No, you did great. You did great. Norman says goodbye to everybody as well. Sooner in Texas is throwing some shots at LSU's way. He's been throwing shots. But yeah, folks, we really appreciate everybody coming in here. Shout out to Bucky's. Really shout out to Mint Mobile. Make sure that, hey guys, if you haven't checked out Mint Mobile, you really should. I'm not just saying it. I've switched over. 3 months unlimited talk, text, and data for $45. You know, you can keep the phone that you have right now. We're talking, it's a big deal. You're on the largest 5G network in the country. You're not going to lose your service, you know, your good service. Norman, get down. And so it's always going to be one of those. It's a great deal, great opportunity. You support the program as well by doing that. Get down, Norman. So Make sure to check that out. TryMintMobile.com/HOF. It's right there above the legend on the top left side of your screen. So check that out. Also, our show merchandise. We're still adding to some of that. Waiting on some of you guys to give us some ideas on new shirts, stuff like that. Let us know what you think, but jump in there. Check it out, hofmedia.us/pod-merch. That's right here above me. And then join the Hall of Fame Mafia. Become a member of the channel for as low as $2.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. So get over there, check that out. Jump into our amazing Discord. We have a lot of fun with that. I've got some stuff that's coming up. Be looking for got a video me and Coach are doing about Coach Venables here in the next couple of days. So make sure you guys are looking for that. If you're not already members of our secondary channel, the Sooner Hall of Fame Sooner Network, where most of our Sooner stuff will be migrating to at some point. We got to wait till we get over 1,000 subs. Please get over there and do that. We're up over 130 now, so I'm excited about that. But if you're not already a member of that channel, it's HOF Sooners at HOF-Sooners on YouTube. So we appreciate that stuff. Oh, there's a new shirt idea. Hey, I'll make sure we have that before the LSU game for you, bud. We'll do that. Appreciate you guys coming on. Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for showing up. And if you're not already a subscriber, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. So glad everybody showed up. Thanks a lot for coming in, Kim, Mars, all of our regulars, Sooner in Texas. We wouldn't do this show without any of you guys. We appreciate you all showing up. Shotty, thanks again for coming in as well. Yeah, and Sooner Legend, thank you. We will see you all guys on the next one.
Peace.